Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shirazi, a board-certified dermatologist, and today I want to talk to you about what you can do in your 30s to preserve your skin. So let's talk the top 10 things from lifestyle to skincare regimen and injectables and lasers that you can do to look younger than all your friends in the decades to come. But before we get started, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and comment below. Let me know if you're already doing some of the things I'm going to mention in this video. Number one, always sunscreen and sun protection as much as you can. And I'm not just talking about your face, I'm talking about your neck and chest, because a lot of people are really good about protecting their face, but we all forget our neck and chest, especially women. That neck and chest skin is thinner, it's more susceptible to sun damage, and it gets more sun than our face. A lot of times we shield our face better than we can our neck and chest. So as much as you can, cover up, because that's the best way to protect that skin. That skin is also harder to laser and correct in terms of anti-aging. We can't laser it the same way we can the face, so the results from laser aren't as good. You want to wear an SPF 30 or higher every single day. It should be just part of your routine. You cleanse and you put on a moisturizer with SPF 30 or higher. Ideally a mineral-based SPF with zinc or titanium, because that gives you the broadest coverage and will block out the most UVA and UVB rays. And if you're on the screens, which a lot of us are, more than a few hours a day, we're on computer screens, we're watching Netflix on our laptops, many hours of blue light. So you want to use a sunscreen with iron oxide in it, because that helps attenuate the blue rays that can damage your collagen, cause pigmentation, worsen rosacea. So you really want to protect that skin. And I personally love powder brushes, and I apply them throughout the day. I feel like they not only give me an extra layer of protection, but they also help absorb any oil and moisture from the skin, give you a little bit of coverage and protection. Number two, Botox. If you haven't started Botox yet, then 30s is a good time to start. Even if you do it twice a year, it's going to prevent lines from getting deeper, and it will preserve the collagen in your skin, because the skin's not being crinkled and wrinkled when you're expressing. So ideally, Botox is best for the lines in the upper third of the face. So when you frown, or when you raise your eyebrows, or when you smile, you get the little crow's feet. So if you do Botox just even a couple of times a year, it will relax the skin, 6 months of the year, which means that it's not getting crinkled. And so those lines will never form. You'll never see them. Now, I will say, Botox is great when it's not overdone. So if you've been getting Botox, regularly, let's say you've been going in every 3 months, the past 10 years since you were 22, and now you're 32, and you can't even move your eyebrows anymore, like that muscle is gone, that is when you want to take a break from Botox, because Botox is great at preventing lines, but if you overdo it and that muscle never works, and you never let that Botox wear off, then what happens to muscle when you don't use it? You lose it. I'll be the only dermatologist that ever tells you this. You need muscles in your face for volume. It can actually end up making you look older. So that is one caution that I do have with Botox or any of the toxins such as Xeomin, Dysport. Fine line between doing enough Botox but not overdoing it. Check out my video on Botox versus fillers if you get the two confused, because it's very easy to get them confused. Number three, start on Retin-A. Retin-A has so much science and data behind it. There is nothing that comes as close for anti-aging. It preserves your collagen, stimulates new collagen, renews your skin cells. If you ever do laser resurfacing or any type of laser treatment, it enhances your results. I cannot stress the importance of using a Retin-A starting in your 30s. It will do so much for your skin. You will definitely have younger skin than all your friends if you start it now. Now everyone says, well, I'm in the sun a lot, I can't use retinoids. No, just wear sunscreen. Remember, number one is sunscreen. So as long as you're not out there for hours bathing in the sun, you will be fine. Number four, exercise. And I say this because it's backed up by science. A recent study took skin samples from people in their 40s that regularly exercised in their 20s and their 30s, and it showed younger markers than people who didn't exercise. And that's because when you exercise, your muscles release a myokine called interleukin 15 that has anti-aging effects on the skin. Not only that, but exercise enhances blood flow and circulation, which means more oxygen that gets delivered to the skin, and you release endorphins, which is great for reducing stress. Stress is one of the worst things for aging skin. It really accelerates aging. So getting some of that endorphin, even if you do it 3 days a week and you only do it for 30 minutes, that is going to be enough to make a difference. And when you sweat, all that toxins and debris gets excreted from your pores. So it really has a number of benefits on the skin. Number 5 is add a vitamin C serum. And vitamin C can be tricky to formulate, so you want to use a high quality one. I personally love Illuma C ferulic acid, and we've tested that formula against multiple other vitamin C serums. And it's not just about the concentration of the vitamin C, but how stable it is and how potent that makes it as an anti-aging serum. The reason vitamin C is so important for your anti-aging routine is because it helps protect and repair the skin from damage from UV, environmental stressors. As we go on throughout our day, our skin cells are prone to oxidative stress. And what vitamin C does is it helps repair that and scavenges these free radicals that, can damage the skin. It's almost like a little Pac-Man, and it goes around and gets all the oxidative damage and helps protect our skin. So it's not quite like sunscreen, but you want to use it every morning after cleansing and under your sunscreen. Number 6, injectables like fillers, because when you reach your 30s, that's when you start to see essential fat pads reduce in size, and that changes the contours of your face. So in order to maintain a youthful contour, you want to replace some of this volume that you start to lose in your 30s. And everybody's different, genetics certainly plays a role in how thin or how fit you are. Some people tend to hold on to their fat and some people don't. So if you're one of the people that tends to lose fat quickly in your face, then you may consider fillers. The areas that we tend to see these fat pads shrink are the malar cheeks and the under eye area. We also start to see the temples become hollow, and that causes the loss of support of our brows. That is associated with an older appearing face. The other area is the lips. We tend to lose volume in the lips, so 30s is a good time to just replace a little bit of volume there, because as we age, you'll notice the lip just gets smaller. So that's another area to consider fillers. And it's best to see somebody who is really experienced in facial aesthetics and how to create balance and harmony in order to replace the volume loss naturally. Okay, number 7 is start an exfoliant. And what I mean by that is start on an acid like a alpha hydroxy acid or a beta hydroxy acid. Our skin cells get lazy, as we get older. So exfoliating helps with cell turnover and also gets rid of that dead skin cell that builds up. So it's a great thing to incorporate into your regimen. My personal favorite is glycolic acid because it helps with fine lines, it helps with pigmentation. It just gives your skin this glow that I feel like none of the other acids really do. And if you want to combine it with salicylic acid, it makes it even more potent, particularly if you're acne prone. I personally love Clarify pads. They're glycolic with salicylic acid. And you don't have to exfoliate every day. Some people, they just can't handle the combination of a retinoid plus an exfoliant. It's too much for their skin. So you may want to just exfoliate a couple times a week. That's enough to give you the benefits, whether it's in a cleanser, a toner, or these pads that I find to be so convenient. And Clarify comes with 60 pads, so it's really cost effective as well. Invest in a Photofacial or an IPL or a BBL. A lot of you may have accumulated pigmentation and sun damage, maybe broken capillaries. It's a great treatment for people in their 30s. It just helps clean up the weathering that happens with sun damage, helps with pores. And there's actually been studies where they've taken samples of skin from people that have had regular BBL treatments, which is this light-based treatment, that have shown markers associated with younger skin than those that haven't had this treatment. So it's something that's good to do once a year. If you're really prone to pigmentation and broken capillaries, then maybe a couple times a year. If you have a lot of sun damage, you may want to do a series and then do the maintenance. Now, if you're darker skinned, then photofacial is not the right treatment for you. Then invest in doing some microneedling treatments. That's safe for all skin types, even darker skin tones. It helps with collagen stimulation, texture, and helps with pores, and it's just good to do to bring in some fresh new skin. And being in your 30s is a good age to do that. Laser hair removal, because if your hair turns gray or white, guess what? It will not work. So once your hair goes from dark to gray as you get older, maybe in your 40s and 50s, then you're not able to take advantage of the laser hair removal. And I think it's one of the best treatments. It makes the skin look better. It gets rid of, hair, so you're not constantly shaving and getting laser bumps. To check out my video on laser hair removal. Okay, number 9, healthy habits. If you're vaping, if you're drinking too much alcohol, stop. Those are so damaging to skin cells. In moderation, a glass of wine a night. If you're a woman, a couple of glasses. As a man, that is probably okay. I say that not because I'm sexist, but because men are able to tolerate more alcohol in their system than women. So healthy habits, start them young. I feel like 30s are kind of your last decade to be able to kick the bad habits, because once you enter your 40s, it gets harder and harder to break bad habits. And then the last one, for people that are prone to have thin eyebrows or thin hair, because with each decade of life, we tend to lose a certain amount of our hair or our eyebrows and eyelashes. So I personally started using Rogaine on my eyebrows 3 times a week. The women's Rogaine, I just put it on a little brush and brush it onto my eyebrows. This is not FDA approved, it's not studied, but I find that it helps preserve your eyebrows. I also use it on my scalp. Not only Rogaine, but I use a prescription from my office. It's called Hair Restore, that has minoxidil at a higher strength than over the counter, as well as finasteride. And I'm one of those people that's just prone to thinning hair. So I started that in my 30s to preserve the hair that I have. And then Latisse for your eyelashes. So, these are things that, unfortunately, after the 30s, you start to see thinning of the hair. That's a little trick. I hope that was helpful. If you're in your 20s, you can watch this video that I did earlier about how to preserve your skin in your 20s. So comment below, let me know if you're doing any of the things that I've talked about in this video. You're on the right track. I really appreciate all your help and support. It's been great connecting with all my followers. So don't forget to subscribe and comment below. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a new video. Till next time.